Alix Cooper didn't just lose Alix Earle, she may have built an entire network on a foundation that was rotting from the inside. A Bloomberg investigation just revealed that nearly 24 employees fled Unwell Network. Cooper's co-CEO husband allegedly made a crew member break down in tears on set and threatened to end their Hollywood career. And a second woman, Cooper's original co-host, Sofia Franklyn, is dropping a tell-all memoir with Cooper's face literally cut out of the cover. From a $125 million SiriusXM deal in August 2024 to a Bloomberg expose, a public feud, and a memoir nobody can stop talking about, all by April 2026, I have the full timeline, every receipt, and the complete breakdown of how this went from Gen Z dream team to one of the messiest media implosions of the year. If you've been watching this unfold and felt like something bigger was being hidden, you were right. And it's worse than the TikToks are letting on.
Before we start, if you don't subscribe right now, I will have to go back to texting my ex for emotional support. And nobody wants that. Hit subscribe. Save us both. Before we get into any of the drama, you need to understand who Alix Earle actually is. Because if you only know her as that TikTok girl, you are genuinely missing most of the picture. And the picture matters a lot here.
Alix Ashley Earle was born December 16, 2000 in Monmouth County, New Jersey, and she started posting videos during her time at the University of Miami. The format was dead simple. Sit in front of a camera, do her makeup, and just talk about her relationships, her acne, her anxiety, her daily chaos, raw, unfiltered, zero pretense. And Gen Z completely lost their minds over it.
By the time she graduated in 2023, she had millions of followers. Forbes had put her on the 30 under 30 list, and she had become one of the most in-demand influencers in the entire country. But what actually separates Alix from every other influencer is what her audience does after she talks about something. Drop a comment below. Have you ever bought something because Alix mentioned it? Because they call it the Alix Earle effect. And whatever she touches, a lip liner, a tanning drop, a drink, sells out within hours.
And the money attached to that trust? According to the New York Times, a single Instagram post from Alix can pull in up to $450,000. Per TikTok post, she earns between $250,000 and $350,000. Forbes reported her earnings at around $8 million for 2024 alone, and Celebrity Net Worth puts her overall figure at $20 million. And here's the investment play that really shows you who she is underneath the GRWM content. In 2024, instead of taking a flat check to promote Poppy, she negotiated equity and revenue share. When PepsiCo acquired Poppy for $1.95 billion in 2025, that bet paid off massively. She also became Sports Illustrated Swimsuit's first ever digital cover model in 2024, competed on Dancing with the Stars Season 34 in fall 2025 with partner Valentin Shmerkovsky, reached the finale, and finished runner-up behind Robert Irwin. So when Alix Cooper brought this woman into the Unwell Network in 2023, it looked on paper like the ultimate Gen Z power move. What actually happened inside that partnership is what nobody on the outside fully knows. Yet. And that word yet is doing a lot of work right now.
But before we get into what went wrong between them, you need to understand something about Alix Cooper's history, because this is not the first time she's been at the center of a partnership that ended badly. Alix Cooper is 31 years old, and Call Her Daddy ranked as the 4th most popular podcast in the entire world on Spotify's 2025 year-end list. Not in the US, in the world. Cooper launched Call Her Daddy in 2018, alongside her best friend and college roommate Sofia Franklyn under Barstool Sports. The show was candid, raunchy, and genuinely groundbreaking for its time. Millions of listeners, overnight success. And then, in 2020, it fell apart in one of the messiest public podcast breakups the internet had ever seen.
Franklyn walked. Cooper took Call Her Daddy solo, landed a $60 million deal with Spotify in 2021, and then, as that contract wound down, a new agreement with SiriusXM reportedly worth $125 million to bring her entire Unwell network to the broadcaster.
Cooper and her husband, film and TV producer Matt Kaplan, the man behind Netflix's To All the Boys I've Loved Before franchise, co-founded an umbrella company called Trending in 2023 to house everything: the Unwell podcast network, Kaplan's production company Ace Entertainment, a creative agency, a beverage brand, live events, a company Cooper says employs around 100 people. On paper, one of the most impressive media build-outs in podcasting history. But paper and reality have a way of diverging, and in 2026, the distance between those two things at Unwell became very hard to ignore.
The Unwell Network launched officially in August 2023, and Alix Earle was one of the very first creators Cooper signed. Cooper announced it with a press release, and pay attention to the language she used here because it becomes relevant later. She wrote, "Alix took the U.S. by storm with her Get Ready With Me videos, college lifestyle, and endearing personality. I feel honored to be at a place in my career where I can pass along knowledge and advice for a new generation of creators to flourish. Mentor energy. I'm bringing you up with me energy." That's the framing Cooper chose publicly. Alix's podcast, Hot Mess with Alix Earle, launched under the Unwell Network in September 2023. And for over a year, the partnership appeared to be working. Both women were spotted out together, no drama surfaced publicly, both kept growing. That visible piece lasted from September 2023 to early 2025.
And then, almost exactly 16 months after that press release, the whole thing quietly collapsed. And the way it happened tells you everything. Real quick, like this video right now because I have been researching this story for days and my eyes are basically 2 Google tabs at this point. 1 tap, that's all I ask. The first sign that something had gone wrong was not a statement, not a call-out video, not a subtweet. It was an empty seat. February 2025, the Unwell Network threw a Super Bowl party in New Orleans. The whole Unwell family was expected to show up. And Alix Earle, reportedly in New Orleans at the time, at the actual Super Bowl, did not go to the party. And for anyone paying close attention, that absence was loud. Then Variety reported that Hot Mess with Alix Earle had been dropped from the Unwell Network entirely. SiriusXM pulled out of ad sales for the show. All rights returned to Alix.
Cooper went on Instagram stories and wrote, "I don't know why she can't. What's going on? Unwell gave her everything back. She owns her IP." Cooper is confirming the split happened, but framing Alix's silence as Alix's own choice. She's saying, whatever is keeping her quiet, it's not us. Then, on March 26, 2025, Alix posted a TikTok addressing it, and she was careful, so careful. She said she was putting a pause on podcasting right now for the foreseeable future, and added, "Don't really want to get into the details of it all, and I kind of can't get into the details of it all right now." She said can't, not won't, can't. Comment below, when you heard that word, what did you think was stopping her? Because that one word kicked off months of speculation.
But here's what nobody talks about. For the next 12 months, both women said almost nothing. And the little they did say was doing a dangerous amount of work. In May 2025, WSJ Magazine sat down with Alix and asked about the Unwell exit. She described what went on behind the scenes as, and I'm quoting directly, a little bit of a hot mess. Her podcast was called Hot Mess. Whether that was intentional shade or just an unlucky word choice, the internet was not going to let it go. Then, in August 2025, a fan dropped a comment on one of Alix's TikToks asking directly what had happened with Alix Cooper. Alix wrote back 4 words. "How much time do you have?" No explanation, no follow-up, just 4 words that sent the drama community absolutely spiraling for weeks. Meanwhile, Alix competed on Dancing with the Stars that fall, made the finale, came in second behind Robert Irwin. Cooper kept feeding Call Her Daddy's audience and building out Unwell. On the surface, 2 thriving careers. Underneath, a tension that was clearly not going anywhere.
Fast forward to February 2026, and the match that lit all of this came from someone who isn't even in the middle of this feud, and that's the part that should have everyone paying attention.
February 25th, 2026, Sofia Franklyn, Alix Cooper's original Call Her Daddy co-host, the woman who left the show in 2020, announced she has written a memoir. The book is called Daddy Issues, coming November 10th, 2026, published by Simon Schuster. I need you to actually picture this cover, because someone made a deliberate decision to print it exactly this way. It's an old photo of Franklyn and Cooper from December 2018, early Call Her Daddy days, and Cooper's face has been cut out of the photo with scissors. Her hair is still visible, her outfit, her face, gone.
Now, here's where Alix enters this part of the story. Alix Earle and her sister Ashtin both liked Franklyn's Instagram announcement post. That's all they did, clicked like. But on the internet, in this context, that is not a neutral action. That is alignment. That is a signal. Everyone who saw it understood exactly what it meant. Then, April 9th, 2026, a TikToker going by the username The Bravo Mom posted a video comparing Cooper to the Grim Reaper and an ambulance chaser, arguing that Cooper profits from women sharing traumatic stories on camera. The video went viral, and Alix Earle reposted it. No caption, no comment, just a repost, letting the video speak completely for itself. That repost is what made Cooper post her call-out video. And then the repost happened. And within 4 days, Alix Cooper had had enough. 4 days after that repost, Alix Cooper went on TikTok and called Alix out directly. No subtweets, no hints, full name. Her exact words. Alix Earle, hey girl, the passive-aggressive reposts and the likes and the commenting on things, I gotta call you out here. You're gonna need to get specific and just say what you gotta say about me. There's no NDA, no one is stopping you. Stop hiding behind other people and just say it yourself.
And then, what's the beef? Because I'm really tired of waking up and seeing you using this big drama to distract from other stuff going online for you. I know what happened, and so do you. I have nothing to hide when it comes to you and me. 2 things to unpack here. First, there's no NDA, no one is stopping you, is a direct shot at the I kinda can't from March 2025. Cooper is telling the world Alix can speak. She is choosing not to. Second, distract from other stuff going online for you? Is Cooper implying this feud is a smokescreen? That is a layered call-out.
Okay, on it. 2 words. That's all she gave the internet. And those 2 words are still sitting there unanswered. Alix's response came within hours. Not a video, not a statement, a comment under Cooper's TikTok. Okay, on it. That comment broke the internet. 2 words, 2 exclamation points. Every drama channel, every gossip account, every group chat screenshotting it and asking the same question. What is she about to drop? Then the next day, April 14th, Alix posted her own TikTok, showing her friends waking her up after Coachella with news that Cooper had gone public. And she was laughing. She told her followers the video had just literally made my whole day. Completely unbothered. The sides were officially drawn. Just when you thought this was contained to 2 people, 2 more names got pulled in, and both of them have real history with Alix Cooper that the internet did not forget.
Dave Portnoy, the Barstool Sports founder, whose name runs through basically every chapter of Cooper's career story, jumped in on April 14th. He posted a video speculating the whole situation started over a Carl's Jr. advertising deal, one that Alix had allegedly landed instead of Cooper. The internet ran with it. And then, almost immediately, Portnoy went on the Chicks in the Office podcast.
And then he walked his own theory back on the Chicks in the Office podcast, saying Cooper told him directly she'd never have taken that deal, and pivoted to a more likely explanation, a contract dispute over the structure of Alix's show at Unwell. But it was Brianna LaPaglia, Brianna Chicken Fry,
co-host of the BFFs podcast with Portnoy at Barstool, who really escalated things. She came out swinging for Alix. I was a fan of Alix Cooper before I knew the wrath of Alix Cooper, and then went further, claiming, based on what Alix had told her personally, Alix Cooper is a very, very mean person. Cooper fired back fast on Instagram stories, posting what she called the full history of her communication with LaPaglia. Screenshots of DMs, party invites, friendly exchanges. Her words, "I have never met you in my life. The only communication we have ever had together is through DM. What I just showed is the only interaction we've ever had. And you hate me?" LaPaglia was not moved. On Planbury Uncut on April 19th, "It's not me versus you, babe. It's me and the whole world versus you." Drop a comment. Whose side are you on right now? Because the internet was fully split, receipts dropping every 48 hours, and nobody had seen the Bloomberg piece yet. Here's the part nobody was fully reporting on. Because while the TikTok drama was happening in public, Bloomberg was quietly publishing something that made all of it look like a distraction. Don't go anywhere. My landlord just knocked on the door, and I told him I'd have the rent as soon as this video hits 1,000 likes. You are legally involved now. Stay.
On April 20th, 2026, Bloomberg published a major investigation into the Unwell network. And what it revealed had nothing to do with Alix Earle specifically. This was about what was allegedly happening inside that company from the very beginning. Read that LinkedIn number again. And remember, Cooper said this company has around 100 people. According to multiple people familiar with the company's operations, at least 20 employees had marked themselves as having left on LinkedIn between 2025 and 2026, and among those departures were some of the most senior people at the company. The head of brand marketing, the head of the network, which was already the second person to hold that role in just 3 years, and the chief growth officer. All gone within roughly a 12-month stretch at a company of around 100 people. The allegations about Matt Kaplan's behavior are where this gets genuinely serious. Kaplan handles the day-to-day operations of Unwell, and what Bloomberg describes happening in that operational space is a pattern that reportedly drove multiple employees to the edge of quitting. The specific incident: during the filming of Unwell Winter Games, a YouTube competition show released in April 2026, Kaplan allegedly berated staff on set and told crew members he would prevent them from ever working in Hollywood again if they made mistakes. A longtime experienced crew member broke down in tears. Others filed formal on-set complaints. Some told company leadership they would walk if Kaplan didn't change his behavior.
Think about what it says that neither of them showed up. On April 22nd, Unwell held an all-hands meeting to address everything. CMO TJ Marchetti hosted. He acknowledged the departures, but said turnover was below comparable startups. He outlined plans for leadership expansion. Cooper and Kaplan, both co-CEOs, were not present at the meeting they called to address staff concerns. Let that sink in.
And if you thought that was the full picture, there's one more layer. And this one connects everything back to where Alix Cooper's story actually started. 6 years before Bloomberg was writing about Unwell, Sofia Franklyn was one half of the team that built Call Her Daddy from nothing. Best friends, college roommates, co-creators. And then in 2020, during those Barstool contract negotiations, she ended up on the losing side of one of podcasting's most painful splits. I need you to actually picture this cover, because someone made a deliberate decision to print it exactly this way. Daddy Issues, her memoir, drops November 10th, 2026, published by Simon Schuster. The official description from the publisher frames it this way. Millions watched as Sofia went from one half of a beloved duo to the villain in the internet's messiest breakup. And Franklyn, in her own words on Why Now, I wasn't ready until now to tell the story in a way that was going to be as honest and as truthful and as real and as ego removed as I possibly could. I needed to grow up. Now, think about what April 2026 looks like from Cooper's position. A public feud with Alix Earle where the internet has largely taken Alix's side. A Bloomberg investigation into dysfunction inside her own company. Serious allegations about her husband's conduct towards staff.
and a tell-all memoir from the woman whose career is widely believed to have been derailed by Cooper's choices 6 years ago, all arriving at the same time from completely different directions. And the woman currently feuding with Cooper publicly liked the memoir announcement. Whether that like was calculated or just an honest reaction, it drew a very visible line connecting two separate women with two separate grievances against the same person.
Here's where I separate what is actually confirmed from what is still noise. Because in a story this chaotic, that distinction matters. What is confirmed? Alix signed with Unwell in August 2023. Her podcast was dropped in February 2025. SiriusXM pulled ad sales. All rights returned to her. She said in March 2025 she kinda can't discuss the details. Cooper said publicly there is no NDA. Both of those statements cannot fully be true at the same time. Somebody is not being completely transparent.
What Bloomberg confirmed independently, nearly 24 employees left Unwell between 2025 and 2026. Senior leadership turned over multiple times. Formal complaints were filed by crew members about Kaplan's behavior on a film set. This is not gossip. This is a Bloomberg investigation. What we genuinely do not know yet, what Alix's full response will actually say. Okay on it and a laughing post-Coachella TikTok are the entire extent of her public reply. Comment below. Do you actually think she's going to post, or has she been quiet so long that the silence is now the strategy?
This story is not really about a TikTok repost or a podcast that got dropped from a network. Those are just the visible surface of something that runs a lot deeper. What this is actually about is what happens when extremely powerful, very public women build professional relationships.
Alix built her entire brand on being the girl who tells you the truth, even when it's uncomfortable. Right now, the entire internet is waiting on her next move because she said she was on it in front of everyone, and she hasn't delivered yet.
Cooper announced Alix's signing with the words, "I feel honored to be at a place in my career where I can pass along knowledge and advice for a new generation of creators to flourish." Whether Alix flourished because of that partnership or in spite of how it ended is the question sitting at the center of everything still unresolved.
Subscribe before you close this tab. I know you're about to forget I exist, and honestly, that's valid. But my cat has been judging me all week, and I need at least one win today. One click for the cat. When Alix drops her response, this channel will cover it immediately. When Sofia Franklyn's Daddy Issues comes out in November, we will be all over it. And if the Bloomberg story on Unwell develops further, we will break it down as it happens. Subscribe, hit the bell, and tell me in the comments right now. Do you think Alix is actually going to post, or has the moment already passed?